Hi, my name is ColdBear, and this is my review of Spellforce 3 Fallen God. I was playing the game for a few days before the official release, and now I can tell you what this game is all about. At first, this is a standalone project. You can buy it and play it without any strings attached. The story is not related to previous Spellforce releases, and also they explain how the game works while you play. You will know what to press to make one thing or another, and will understand how to play it even if you are new here. Well, mostly. I had some struggles and I will tell you about those later. So the first thing that catched my eyes is the graphics. Such details can really melt your GPU and of course your heart. Just look at this beauty. And if you are playing with a laptop as I do, it might burn your fingertips. But I wanted it to look beautiful, so this is the best graphics settings you are looking at. You know, no pain, no gain. Yeah, you will take control of a few trolls that look exactly like orcs from Warcraft. I know that in real life neither trolls nor orcs exist, but after a first glance, what is that? A troll? You sure? Okay, whatever, maybe your dragons look like that, I don't know, but who am I to judge? It's your game. So you and your party of trolls, are tasked to rebuild your tribe, conquer some lands, and resurrect the dead god in the process. I will not talk about the details of the plot because this is a review without spoilers. Well, almost without spoilers, because you can't make a review without talking or showing a few important things. So the most important thing is that it's not simple RTS. This is a story-based RPG with real-time strategy elements, and that story is the most important thing here. If you want a game with more fighting than talking, then maybe it's not for you. Talking consists of about 50% of the game. I'm not kidding, maybe even more. This game is almost an audiobook with cutscenes of fighting, and trolls like their conversations. They talk a lot. By looking at them, you wouldn't expect them to say something like,
Aakrok thinks that this matter of interest is very delicate and must be approached with care.
no, you expect something like,
Aakrok smash!
and then you expect him to smash. But those trolls are intelligent, well, most of them. You can easily imagine them constructing spaceships with their leader Elon Tusk after a few hundred years, that is for sure. Main story is cool. I like the complicated troll codex of honor, their traditions and respect for the elders, mixed with distrust, scheming and lust for power. The hardest thing is to remember all those troll names and understand which troll is which, especially because they are all speaking about themselves from the third-person perspective. Trying to remember which troll, Aakrok Bonecrusher, Noag Moonblood, Zaska Smalltusk, or Grunfar Greyfur said to go to Nerbuk One Eye and take Kabrax Faithful with him to make an impression to Zaramak Long Ding Dong. It is not easy task. At least at first it was absolutely overwhelming and I was like,
What? Who? Where?
anyway, you will learn the names with passing time, although that will not be an easy task. Last time I felt like that was when I was reading the sci-fi book Free Body Problem, where almost every character was Chinese with Chinese names, although naming has nothing to do with the quality of the story, just with my old wrinkled brain. Music and voice acting is great, but I couldn't shake the feeling that many of the characters were voiced by the same guy, or they were all trying to sound, I don't know, to sound troll, and they overachieved that. Because none of them has a distinctive voice that I can tie with one character or another. So as I have mentioned, this is an RPG, so your characters have inventory and items, from axes to wizard staffs, armors and head protections. Your heroes look kinda unique. You can easily spot them in a crowd of other trolls because they look different. And with that RPG part also comes the skill tree, where you can choose various feats that you can use later in combat, from healing totems to fireballs. All is here and really comfortable to use in battle. You can also visit a blacksmith and craft various items from the pots you manage to salvage or loot from dead monsters. So wandering with your party and crushing skulls of your puny adversaries is just one part of the game. Another is a base building part where you can enjoy the real-time strategy gameplay, and this is quite similar to any other RTS game if you played one. You build a base and make sure that you won't run out of resources resources. When you have enough, you build warriors, upgrade them, and send them to battle. They die, you make more. And what if your hero dies? Nah, nothing. At least on normal difficulty where I was playing. You can resurrect your hero where it has fallen until the time runs out, and he will be resurrected with half of the health. And if time runs out, your hero actually dies. But sometime later, like after 30 seconds, he will be resurrected at the nearest portal, or Godstone as they're called here. And those stones are needed for you to travel from one part of the map to another one, because the maps are huge. Have you ever played Warcraft 3 missions with Rexxar? This whole game feels a little bit like that, but with way more talking, and maps will change after you finish all the main quests. One map is about 1 to 2 hours of playtime. If you decide to do side missions, it will take more time, but also your heroes will get more experience and will be stronger when fighting huge battles. The issue I'm having with the game is that not every quest is clear, and it's sometimes hard to understand what to do. An example, this one. Build an Eye of the Tribe. I had no idea what is it or how to build it. You can't find that among your other buildings, and if you click on the quest button, nothing happens. No further explanations here. I probably wasn't listening to some chieftain explain things, and that's it. I'm screwed. So sometimes this game is frustrating, but maybe after a few updates it will be alright. And also, let me tell you a few words about multiplayer. You can play it with any race available in Spellforce 3, not only with the trolls. I must admit that I never tried to compete with live players, but I bravely went to battle a mighty AI opponent. I was pretty much sure that with my Platinum League in StarCraft 2, I will crush this AI like a bug.
Hey Croc, smashed!
Right? But playing a skirmish battle for the first time wasn't so easy. I knew all the mechanics from single-player missions, but that somehow helped me little. No matter what I did, I always felt behind my almighty AI opponent. You know that feeling when in class you get a high grade and you are happy, but as it turns out, everyone else got even better grades and you can't understand why and how. So this is how I felt in this battle all the time. I was sure that I am doing well, but also I was in constant need of wood.
That's what she said?
Yeah, and stone, scrap, or food. Despite that I was building a lot of those resource-gathering buildings, my army wasn't getting any bigger, and I lost. I lost to easy AI. Let's forget it and never ever talk about it. Also, will I play multiplayer again? Nah, I don't think so. I wasn't hooked at all, sorry. So, the verdict. I think I will give this game 7 vodkas out of 10. You know, the main influence of this score is that with all this talking, I missed the actual playing. You know, I wish there were less talking and more action, but it's just a matter of taste. Or not. Maybe those conversations could be more interesting to keep the focus of casual player, like me. Overall, this is a very high quality game, and if you like what you see, I kinda recommend you to try it. Thank you for watching, and now I want to ask you to consider becoming my Patreon supporter. Even $1 a month is a huge help for me, and by helping me, you will get various benefits. You can also join here on YouTube and also get benefits.
Let us be friends with benefits.
Have a nice day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.